Welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Friday, June 7th. So glad you can join us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Labour Minister Colin Jordan has intervened in the contentious dispute between workers and management at the Caribbean Examination Council. Today, workers stayed off the job and opted to demonstrate in the car park, demanding a better deal from their employer. The workers are up in arms over major restructuring changes, which they claim came in the middle of negotiations with the trade union. Barbados Workers Union General Secretary Tony Moore told reporters that over 20 positions were advertised, even though there were people in the substantive posts and the negotiations have been ongoing. The union is calling on the CXC to acknowledge that its actions distressed employees who feel that their job security is under threat. In a statement on Thursday, CXC said it had referred the matter to the Chief Labour Officer, saying it remains committed to fair business practices. President of the Barbados Bar Association, Liesl Weeks, is proposing the establishment of a criminal registry to keep track of all the matters in the criminal court system. Her comments comes on the heels of Wednesday's release of Winston Adolphus Agard, who was left to languish on remand at Her Majesty's Prison Dodds for almost a decade. Weeks told Barbados Today, given the manner in which the system currently handles records, there could be similar cases. She argued that it was not enough for the Director of Public Prosecutions to be the sole record keeper of criminal cases, especially since it is the courts and not the DPP that bear the brunt of the blame for the backlog in criminal matters.
What she identified as being an issue is that there is no criminal registry. So in the civil side of things, you have a registry. They take documents, they log documents, you have your filings, you know when the matters are filed, you know when the dates are coming on for hearing, you know what is outstanding, and you can actually follow a file from the date it starts to the date it ends. In the criminal jurisdiction of the court, there's none of that. So really, the prosecution of criminal cases is run by the DPP's office, and there really should be an independent registry where judges are able to say, okay, look, these cases have been in the system for however long, let's pull these up, and so they can organize the business of the court. And she's very right about that, and that's something that I hope to see established as well, because you need to have some body, especially if it's the court's responsibility and the court gets the backlash for the backlog, then the court must have control over the cases and the management of cases in both the criminal and the civil jurisdiction. So we do need to establish a criminal registry where we can keep track of all of the matters that are in the system, so that we will know why is this person still, he hasn't even been invited, called upon to plead in this particular matter yet. No, we need to bring him down and have him dealt with.
Acting Chief Justice Kate Goodridge is urging the legal fraternity to ready itself for coming technological changes to the justice system. Addressing the opening ceremony of the Barbados Bar Association conference at Sandals Hotel this morning, Justice Goodridge revealed that the final steps are being taken to introduce e-filing.
However, if one thinks of it logically, continuous legal education is a must in a world of rapidly changing standards, technological developments, and artificial intelligence. Human intelligence is a necessary criterion for achieving social change. Technological developments and artificial intelligence are the products of the human brain from whence, through education, intelligence comes. No one can contemplate the myriad ways in which law will develop in the future. Therefore, lawyers and judges must prepare themselves to face the challenges of this new era. If we do not, we will find ourselves confined to the Jurassic era, static and immutable. In this regard, the judiciary of Barbados, on an ongoing basis, seeks to find ways of making ourselves relevant in this changing landscape. One such initiative relates to the implementation of e-filing. The Rules Committee met as recently as 2 days ago to discuss draft rules for e-filing, and the technical aspects of the software to be used.
Minister of Maritime Affairs and the Blue Economy, Kirk Humphrey, hints that a code of conduct could soon be enforced at the island's fish markets. Speaking to reporters following a presentation of critical equipment from the United Nations Foods and Agricultural Organization to fisherfolk at the Burinda Cox Fish Market, Humphrey expressed concern about what he called troubling practices at the country's fish markets. He says while government has invested over $1 million in improvements, fisherfolk too must raise the bar.
There's some practices here that trouble me. As I came in, I saw a young man he can't in the market. There are signs around the market, but people don't always pay attention to signs. So there's some things that we have to be, the PS understands that we have to enforce a lot of rules that are there. We're also going to be taking to cabinet very soon a revision in the pertains to the market and generally fisheries to make sure that we could put into existence some of the things that we agree to. The improvement in the sanitary conditions are critical, as you know, to make sure that people are safe.
BMEX is on. The annual exhibition that will feature 200 exhibitors opened at the Lloyders in Sandiford Center this morning, where International Business and Industry Minister Ronald Toppin cut the ceremonial ribbon. School children from several primary schools in the north of the island were among the first to take in the displays, which ranged from art and craft, food and beverage to furniture, finance and fashion. Executive Director of the BMA, Shadri Boy, said some minor changes had to be made to the event, which places special focus on the island's service industries.
This year we have introduced the Creative Village, which is something to see. So we encourage the public to come on down over the next 3 days. You're going to be fully entertained. We have the services sector fully on board. And we believe from a manufacturing sector's perspective that it's important to work with sectors outside of manufacturing because of the linkage and the value that they add to the manufacturing sector. Yeah, so we have the services sector bring all the entertainment. We have a fashion show included. You're going to see the mixologists. It's going to be something to see. So we just encourage everyone to come on down.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To the region now, at least 4 people have died and several others are missing after heavy torrential rains caused widespread flooding in Haiti over the last 4 days, the Directorate of Civil Protection has reported. Authorities said the rain caused floods and significant damage, mainly in the west of the French-speaking Caribbean country. According to preliminary reports, 2 people were killed in Cité Soleil, 1 died in Carrefour, while 3 others were also injured and another 3 are missing. In Kabawe, 1 person died and another is reported missing. The authorities also reported that cattle had been washed away in Cité Soleil, while the town hall of Carrefour is reporting that at least 17 houses, roads and bridges were also damaged. On the international scene, another young Saudi protester faces execution. At 10 years old, he was arrested for leading protests during rights for Saudi Arabia's Shia minority. Now at age 18, he faces the death penalty. More in this report from the CNN.
It actually took 4 years for the government to charge him. When they finally did, they said he was a member of a terrorist organization. Correreis is from a Shia family. That's his dad just behind him. a family that has a history of demonstrating against what they say is unfair treatment of Shia by the government. In fact, Quraysh's brother was killed by Saudi forces in a rally. One of the incidents the government used to charge Quraysh with 4 years after his arrest, his brother's funeral, which authorities say turned into a march against the royal family.
Quraysh was just 11 at the time.
To understand Murtaja's circumstances, it helps to know that the Shia minority, largely in the east of the country, have felt marginalized in the kingdom for a long time. Protests aren't new. Neither are arrests.
But as Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman rose to power, the government crackdown on Shias intensified.
On April 23, 2019, Saudi Arabia announced it had executed 37 people, one of the largest mass executions in the kingdom's history. The majority were Shia, and 3 were killed for protest-related crimes they'd committed as minors, according to rights group Reprieve.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Islamic Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. To have a wonderful weekend.